Ladies and gentlemen, I come to you tonight to discuss the topic of the culture of policing in the United States of America. But in order for me to tackle the culture of policing in the United States of America, I must also tackle race relations. You see, one do not have to look too far to realize that corruption is prevalent within police departments throughout the United States of America. Something is definitely wrong when you look around and see that every time an unarmed teen or adult is killed by a police, it's either a black man or woman or an Hispanic. And the cop is a white cop. The end result, the cop goes to trial or there's no indictment and is set free. We have instances of Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, and the list goes on. Race relations is intertwined in policing. If there are 15 white kids hanging out on the street corner, and there are two black kids hanging out in the street corner, the police tend to go to the black kids, even though the white kids might be behaving a bit more rowdy than the black kids. It's natural because of racial profiling. But are we going to just sit here without doing something? The situation needs to be tackled. Before it gets to that of an epidemic proportion. They are good police, they are bad police. They are good citizens, they are bad citizens. But what are we going to do to deal with the situation? You see, having a crowd of rowdy people going at the police is not going to solve the problem. And having the police tear gas in demonstrators is not going to solve the problem either. We need to come to the round table. Have a serious discussion. Get to the bottom of the problem. And the bottom of the problem is trust. The minority community doesn't trust the police, and the police doesn't trust the minority community. It's not rocket science. But we cannot sit back. We have to have a conversation. And the conversation must start with us. There needs to be a new brand of activists, not those of the street brawl proportion, but persons who can sit around the table regardless of their differences of opinion and have a civil conversation. God bless people like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, who cleared the way for us. Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson. But everything carries an era. There was the Michael Jordan era. No, then it was the Kobe Bryant era. Now it's the LeBron James era. There was Martin Luther King's era, Malcolm X era, Jesse Jackson's era, Al Sharpton's era. Now there's a new era. And the new era calls for new faces. You see, as citizens of this lovely country of the United States of America, we should not sit back and allow our rights to be trampled upon. We are supposed to be the country of the freest freedom of speech. It baffles me that a lot of us, we grumble. But when the opportunity comes for us to create an impact, we sit back and do nothing. That's why the good book says, by the sweat of one's brow, he shall eat bread. Don't get me wrong. They are very good police, men in the police and women in the police force. Just like they are very corrupted ones. And some policemen use their badge to hide their gangster type lifestyle. And don't get me wrong either. A lot of times, my own black brothers and sisters and Hispanic brothers and sisters, they draw unnecessary police attention to themselves because we act the fool too many times. We kill each other, get into gangs, and instead of taking the responsibility for actions, we tend to blame each other people. But in order for your life to be changed, the first thing you must accept is your responsibility. Take responsibility for the decisions you make. Then and only then can the change come. Bob Marley says, the great Jamaican artist, free yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. I can't do it for you. You have to do it for yourselves. There are trust issues between the community, especially the minority community, and the police. That's why I'm calling for a serious and civil conversation. Because the police needs the community, and the community needs the police. One cannot do without the other. We all need each other. Fighting against each other is not going to solve the problem. And we cannot evade the conversation of race relations. You see, when one race thinks they are superior to the other one, that's a form of an inferiority complex. Because according to the man who made us, the Almighty God, no man, all men are equal. The only difference is some might have more earthly wealth more than the other. a lighter skin color than the other, the color of our skin. But no man should be judged or woman should be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. And until we all learn to respect each other, we're going to have these problems. We're going to have more Trayvon Martins and Michael Browns. And until all citizens of the United States of America are treated equally on the job, at school, at play, the problem will persist. You see, the way we treat each other is not something that a child or we were born with. It's something that was taught to us. I guarantee you that if you put kids, Chinese kids, white kids, black kids, Indian kids to play, they all will play until they reach that age where their parents can instill with them who to play with and who not to play with. Kids are innocent, they will play with each other. So us as parents have to take a lot of the blame, because it is what we instill in our kids that has a lot of the problems going on today. Love conquers all. We should not see color, class, nor creed. We should just see people as human beings. We don't have to live with each other, but we can have tolerance for each other. That's all I'm asking. Rodney King says, can't we all get along? You see, over almost 6 years ago, Barack Obama was elected president of the United States of America. It was a historic occasion because he was the first black person to be elected president. Minorities alone didn't elect Barack Obama. It took a great deal of whites and Hispanic, the fastest growing ethnic race in this country, to elect Barack Obama. And history could repeat itself. For the 2016 election, if Hillary Clinton is elected the first female president of the United States of America. You see, America has advanced from its days of slavery and civil wars. But sometimes when we make 2 steps forwards, we tend to make 15 backwards. And that's the problem. We are supposed to be the #1 country in the entire world. And we ought to lead by example. But tell me, how can we go about telling other countries how they should treat their citizens when right here in the United States of America, we are treating our own citizens as second and third class citizens? There are laws that governs only minorities and Hispanics. Minorities, blacks and Hispanics. That doesn't go for whites. It is wrong. Everyone should be treated equally. The laws are there to protect all the citizens. You see, a lot of minorities have lost the trust in the justice system. And that's also a problem. See, when police kill innocent people, and then the DAs fail to indict, or there's a sham hearing in court and the police get set free. It's great. It makes race relation even worse. But the good thing about the United States of America is this great country is a country of second chances. And it's never too late to have the conversation. We need to have that conversation. We need, thank God for the folks who led the way in the past. But now we need a new brand of activists. Not those who every time will go on the street and demonstrate, but who can sit around a negotiating table and try to come up with a common ground. You see, sometimes all we need is negotiations. Because we have to understand that the police cannot do without the community, neither can the community do without the police. Because without the police, there would be no law and order. So we all need to respect the police because they are very good police. In fact, I have a nephew who's a police and a very good person. Not because he's my nephew. So I'm not going to sit here and say that they are all bad police. They are good citizens, they are bad citizens. They are good police, they are bad police. They are good politicians, they are bad politicians. And we, as voters, need to hold our politicians accountable. My fellow United States citizens, let's come together. Let's start the conversation. We cannot evade the conversation of race relation and the culture of police in the United States anymore. The longer we try to evade the situation, the worse circumstances can get. We need to take a stance. You see, there's a situation in the Bible where a lady was brought before Jesus for committing adultery. But there was a problem. The woman didn't commit adultery by herself. The man committed too. But in Moses' law, any lady who had committed adultery should be stoned to death. The man went scot-free. But you see, Jesus, the fair person he was, said, he without sin cast the first stone. He stooped to the ground and he wrote. When he got up, everyone disappeared. He said, Lady, where are thine accusers? She said, Lord, I have none. He said, neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more. I said that to say this. America is a country of second chances. Regardless of where you came from, you can make it in America if you really want to. As the Calypsonian from Trinidad, the mighty Stalin, say, you can make it if you try a little harder. If you just give one more try, life would be much sweeter. It is time for us to get up. Stand up for what we believe in. Start the conversation. Get around the table. Start tackling it. Because America is also on the verge of history. In less than 20 months, history could repeat itself where America elect the first female president, Hillary Rodham Clinton. And if we don't tackle the race situation, And police culture in America, it can escalate and it might be too late. So let's tackle it while we can now. You see, we ought to be proactive instead of reactive. It's better to prevent something than to try to find a cure after it has occurred. Ladies and gentlemen, we can make it if we try a little harder. Yeah, if we just give one more try, life will be much better. Whoa, 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 whoa. We can make it if we try. Yeah, yeah, yeah. A little harder. Whoa. If we just give one more try, life will be much sweeter. In closing, it doesn't matter if you're Jew, Muslim, Christian, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, Indian, Pakistani. It doesn't matter which culture you come from. We are all human beings. And one thing that makes us all common is citizen, being a citizen of this great country of the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Rupert Milton McAllister. I will be back for another recording. But until then, good night. God bless all of you, and God bless the United States of America. Bye bye.